Unlocked. Julie, thanks very much for joining us this morning. So, we know Hollywood has got left-wing bias, the media's got left-wing bias, higher education, universities and colleges. But what we're looking at today is not even just that, it's high schools, it's junior highs, and parents need to be engaged and aware. What's your advice for them?
Well, you're right. More and more now, these schools, elementary schools, middle schools, are taking on the role, or really supplanting parents. I mean, you look at schools today, kids can be dropped off at 6:30 in the morning. They get 3 meals a day. There's aftercare. There's even health care services at some schools. So really, schools have tried more and more to take on the role of parenting, and now we're seeing it in political issues. They're telling children, this is how you should think about certain issues. This is how you should believe. This is the correct way to think on these issues. It's very disturbing, and parental rights are absolutely left out of the picture.
We see it more and more every year. California's being criticized for allowing transgender issues to be taught in the classroom. A New York school board wants to include climate change in what they're instructing their students. You say parents need to be actively and aggressively involved. What does that mean?
I really do. I think particularly conservatives tend to be very polite and quiet, and they don't like to sort of cause a stir. But you've got to do that. You've got to go to your school, meet with your principal, meet with your teachers, ask for the curriculum, review it. And if there is something that you don't like, opt out. Now, some states don't allow people to opt out, and that's very unfortunate. But that is why it's important at the beginning of the year that you meet with the officials at the school and say, I don't want this happening. I don't want politics in the classroom. And there are certain subjects that I believe as a parent, I need to talk to my child, not the teacher. No,
that's a great recommendation. And run for school board so that you can be a part of changing it if you want to. But too many parents, you're right, are disengaged. They don't understand that even our public schools today, so many of which have an agenda, you want to help parents with a couple of book recommendations that they can read. We're going to put 3 of them up on the screen. We don't have time to really talk through all 3, but they're meant to sort of equip them to make the argument. One is the Benedict option.
Absolutely. And this is a great book by Rod Dreher, and it really speaks to parents who want to live in a Christian way and are sort of disappointed by some of the cultural things out there. But there's others. Billy Hallowell wrote a great book called Fault Line. He doesn't specifically talk about education or elementary school politics, but he talks about the culture wars. And I think that's really the key problem here.
And make sure, and ask your principal if your school says the Pledge of Allegiance every day too, which is one thing that is going away and parents don't even know it. Julie, thank you very much. Be involved, be aware, and be aggressive. We appreciate it. More Fox and Friends. And Greg Abbott on the other side.